Actually, the first question I want to ask you is a question that I get all the time, but I'm not very equipped to answer it because I'm 6'5" and I haven't played in the league. I don't play against 7 footers and shit. It's how do you finish over big guys like as a smaller guard or as a guy who's not a big guard in the league? What's what do you go to in order to get shots off inside against guys who are way bigger than you?
That's a good question. I mean, I've always been a below the rim player. I had two knee surgeries in high school, so I've never been just this tremendous athlete who challenges guys, at the rim, dunking and all that. So I've always used my floater as something that has preserved my body. Being in high school, being in college, playing in the tough leagues that I've played in, it's very physical. So I always had to get a floater in my game. And then, my first year in the league, I stayed with Kyrie. I lived with Kyrie, so I was working with Kyrie every day, and just to see, you know, his different angles on his finishes. He does his layup drill, his warm up drill every day. That showed me how to get the spots on the backboard before the defender could and stuff like that. So just using the angles, using different touches around the rim, and really practicing on it and working on it every day.
What was the drill?
So he does like a kind of like the mic and drill, but it's like different varieties. He's spinning it off his left hand and it has to touch a certain part of the backboard both ways. He's going reverse underneath the basket. Is just all the stuff that you see him do, the crazy stuff he does. He literally practices it literally every single day. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a mic and drill on steroids.
Is he just freestyle it, or is there like structure in exactly what he does?
So he'll start like, well, this was 7 years ago when I was with him every day. So I don't know if he's added to it, but at this time, literally like your normal mic and drill, 10, 10, 10. Then he'll go reverse 10, 10, 10. Then he's like on the opposite side of the rim and he's like spinning it 10, 10, 10, and obviously reverse. And then he's like off one leg spinning. So
Crazy.
he was doing a lot, but it was structured. Him and Phil Handy did a really good job of it.
So, um, I want to ask you another question, and this is actually I didn't get this, but I hear people like, what's your thoughts on like there's this whole like I think there's two types of people. Like there's some people who have this like Mamba mentality who like are going 8 hours a day just grinding. They're about just like putting work in, and there's people who like utilize recovery, utilize rest days, and I've seen both guys be successful. What's your thoughts on like the best way to approach like how much you work, how much you actually work, and what have you seen from like guys in the league, and how do they do it, or how do the best people actually work? Because I've seen, and myself used to do it. Like I used to like overwork myself like crazy, and just lead to like me almost playing worse. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we've all, had that kind of, I got to be in the gym 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I got to be in the gym at 4 a.m. and then go back in the gym at midnight. I think it depends on the player. I think it depends on, their mindset. I was one of those guys who like, mentally I was very superstitious. So like if I didn't go in, you know, the night before games or like late at night sometimes, like I felt like I wasn't doing enough.
Yeah.
And when I got to the league, it kind of really opened my eyes because like LeBron, my rookie year, if practice was at 10, he would be in the facility at 6:30, 7 o'clock. But like I probably never seen LeBron come back at night and get shots up. Just in my time with him, like KD, Steph, like when they had off days, like they would like take their off days. They understood how much load that they carried. Rest and just getting away from the game. For 24 hours. What it did to their body and what it did to their mental. I know for me, like a lot of times, even college and in the league, like off days, man, I never took off days just because maybe I wasn't playing a lot in rotation at that time, or maybe I was a younger guy who didn't play at all, or maybe just I wasn't shooting the ball well. I always wanted to go in. But when I got to Golden State, I really realized, man, your rest and taking care of your body and stuff like that, and kind of really using on those off days and sometimes going in at night, but you don't got to do it every night. So it kind of just depends. But for me, like it was just where I was mentally. Like if I felt like I wasn't, playing well at all, like I go in the gym 3 times a day and various hours. But there are a lot of guys who are in the league now who are stars, who are role players, or young guys. They're in the gym, 3 times a day. So I think it really just depends on the player.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah. David asked Quinn Cook, "What do you do to get your confidence up?"
What do I do? I just go in the gym. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but I just go in the gym. And like I said, anything that I got going in life, like it stops for 2 hours when I'm in the gym. I could be going through the best of times. I can be going through the worst of times. I'm only thinking about, basketball, and I'm only happy. Not when I'm only happy, but like I'm happy. Anytime I'm playing basketball, I'm happy. So, it's definitely therapeutic for me. So, um, anytime I'm feeling down, anything, I just kind of go back to the gym, and I'm a good shooter, so I see the ball going a lot when I'm working out, and I'm playing imaginary one-on-one, or I'll take one of my homies or my brothers, and we'll go in the gym, and they always build me up. So anytime I need some confidence, I really just go back to square one, just going back in the gym.
Yeah. Was there ever a time in your career where you were like nervous before games or like actually like tweaking?
Um,
Or were you always comfortable?
yeah, I was always really comfortable. I think I was probably nervous my first NBA game when I played for the Mavericks, my first NBA game, and my first finals game. Um, I think those 2 games I was nervous just because obviously, you dream of getting to the
Yeah.
NBA your whole life, and I had a unique path. So my first game was my first day of a 10-day. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's not like I had no kind of security. So I felt like it was, these 10 days or nothing. So my first game, I was just really, really, really nervous. And, I grew up, watching every finals. I can literally remember every final since I was a baby. So just to be able to play in the finals, and even the first game, I didn't even get in the game. I played like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But just being nervous, I was nervous that entire day, that entire pregame, just because I literally had been dreaming this my whole life. But never
Yeah.
really nervous, really more just being anxious.
Yeah, I got you. What advice would you give? Because I know that it's like part of the journey is like I feel like everyone has this period in their life when they're learning basketball. At least for me, I don't know if you learned when you were younger, but you have this period where you're like nervous because you're like not as good as other people. Because this is the question I get all the time. It's like, how do I prove my confidence? How do I prove my confidence? Like if someone is in this state or where like every day they play, they're nervous. They don't know what to do. What advice would you give them?
I think they'll go away with the experience. Like, say you're a young kid or you're a middle school kid, and you know that they having, you know, pickup games with high school players. I would go to that consistently and say maybe the first 2, 3, 4, 5 times you're nervous. On that 6, 7 time, you've been there before. You've done it before.
Yeah,
It's only basketball. You're not going to get beat up. You're not going to get killed. You're not. It's only a game. So I just think that once you get thrown out there, like I said, like my first game, the first 5 seconds I was in the game, I was nervous, and then once I touched the ball, or once I missed my first shot, or got a rebound, whatever, the nerves went away. It went back to being a game. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but I just think the more you get out there, the more you experience. I think the nerves are kind of cool down.
I agree. I think like everyone goes through that period where they're nervous, but a lot of people quit at that stage. And I think what they think is like, oh, I guess this is me. I guess I'm just not confident. Like I can't do it. But the way to go, if you just keep going, it will go away 100%. I've seen people who are nervous. They play for 3 months in the same whatever pickup, whatever. 3 months later, they're a completely different person. It's how your body works. If you're nervous in one situation, once you're comfortable, you can do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same with anything. If you played in a C team game, a freshman game, I guarantee you wouldn't be nervous. But if you were 14, you would be nervous as shit. Same shit, just over and over and over. It's gonna go away, guaranteed. Like literally guaranteed. And it's every single person goes through it. It's not like people are born with confidence off the bat. Everyone goes through this thing where they're like, "Oh shit, what's happening? I don't know what to do with the ball. I don't know." Everyone goes through it. Every league player, besides maybe the ones who are like LeBron, who are at the top from when they were a baby, but the smaller guys, bro, always go through this stage where they're, I don't know what to do. I don't know. The only way to get through it is just keep going. It's just keep going. That's it. And a lot of people quit because they think they're not naturally not confident, but that's just not true. It's something that gets better. I promise you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, honestly, some questions that like. Okay, let's see.
Somebody said they want to play me in Madden.
I see you on the game, bro.
That's all I do in my free time.
You play Xbox?
Yeah, I play Xbox. I play Xbox.
All right, hold on. What does it take to make it to the league? That's a good question. That's a good question. What does it take to make it to the league? Like, what's the difference between you and like somebody who you knew growing up who didn't get to the league?
Well, I'm from Houston County, Maryland. Like, we have so much talent come from here. Kevin Durant, Jared Jack, Ty Lawson, Mike Beasley, Nolan Smith. So many guys. I just think for me, it was just like I always believed that I could do it, and I've always been like the smaller guy. But I always took pride in like nobody like loving the game more than me, like nobody knowing the game more than me. And like a lot of my teammates growing up, they had small AAU, rec league, high school. I wouldn't say I was the most talented, but like Kobe was my favorite player growing up, and Michael Jordan, and then obviously LeBron later. But you know, you just always heard stories about Kobe's mentality and Mike's mentality. So I had that mentality, and I just took pride in nobody working harder than me, nobody getting to the gym before me, nobody being a student of the game more than me. And I might not have been the best player, just talent wise, but um, with that mentality and then my work ethic, just I kind of think it just gelled together. But I tell people all the time, like there's even people who I hang with now who don't play anymore, like they were like super, super, super talented. Like if I had their talent, I might
Yeah.
be, you know,
Yeah.
5, 6 time All Star.
Yeah.
But I made it work with what it I had and what I was blessed with. Not saying I don't have a God given talent, but I thought there were guys growing up who were way, way, way more talented than me, but maybe they didn't work as hard as me, maybe they didn't love it as much as me. So I think I made it off the love in my work, and not just my talent. But there's a lot of people in the NBA who just don't love the game and they just talented as hell. So it can go both ways. But you always hear the saying, "Hard work beats talent when talent is work hard." So
Yeah.
I've seen that my whole life.
For sure. For sure. Respect, bro. Yeah, that's how it. I know exactly what you're saying, man. Yeah. How do you work on IQ?
Me just being a student of the game, me watching, me asking a lot of questions. Like I asked so many questions, and I was like that growing up. But just asking a lot of questions and literally just watching it. Like I'm watching WNBA basketball right now. I'll watch a JUCO game. I'll watch a D2, DNAIA game. I'll watch finals. I mean, I'm watching all the basketball. I like to watch interviews, like pregame and postgame interviews, especially from coaches. If they talk about adjustments and talk about substitutions, if they talk about anything, percentages, I like to just watch everything basketball. I think that improved my IQ. And then obviously just playing with older players. When I was growing up, we had a gym called Run and Shoot. And all the pros were in there when we were kids and when they were in high school and they were in college and still in the league. And I would just watch and I would just see, how this player would read pick and rolls, how this big would guard pick and rolls, how this wing would defend certain guys. I would just literally study it and just getting out there and playing it and then asking questions. I think, we don't ask enough questions.
Yeah.
You might want to know something, but you're scared to ask or you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're vulnerable or you don't like we're all like I play with LeBron, the best player ever, and he asks more questions than anybody. Like I remember when I was on the Lakers and I'd be on the second team and I was a really good pick and roll player, like getting to my mid range, making reads and stuff. And that year he was transitioning to being a point guard. That's his first year where he played fully point guard. So he would ask me like, "What you looking off there?" And obviously, like he's the best player ever. Obviously, he's whatever, but he had never been like the initiator of the entire game, like bringing it up off a made field goal, now bring it up, getting us into our offense. So he was asking questions from that point. I'm just like, LeBron James is asking me questions. Like, so if the best player ever is asking questions, anybody else can ask questions. So I've always been that guy who asks a lot of questions. And being around Draymond Green, being around Steph, being around Rondo, these guys with these incredible IQs, one thing that all of them, they ask so many questions. So, I think to improve your IQ, you got to ask questions for sure.
Yeah. And like you're saying that like the best players in the world ask a lot of questions. And I think the thing that scares a lot of people off is like, oh, what if they like, make fun of me or something? Always asking a question. But if the best players ask questions, that means if you ask the best players questions, they're gonna understand and they're gonna help you out. The people who don't want to help you out when they ask questions are people with big egos, and that usually just means they're insecure within themselves. So just understand that, if someone like makes fun of you for asking a question, it's not because like you're dumb for asking a question. They're just like feel uneasy being in their own body. Yeah. Okay.
I would add to that, right? Just like I played with Golden State for 2 years, and we will prepare really, really well during the season. But obviously, it's 82 games, and at that time when I went to Golden State, they had went to 3 straight NBA Finals. So obviously, they knew we were playing until June. So preparation definitely kicked up, like in the playoffs. So anytime, like before we play, like the first round, we'll play the Spurs. Then the second round, we'll play the Pelicans, Rockets, whatever. So before we started to prepare, like we was at the beginning of our preparation, we would meet up in the conference room, and literally, like if we were playing New Orleans, we would literally be meeting upstairs before we touched the court for like 90 minutes, hour and a half, and literally like we've played them 4 times, we played them in the past, whatever, but we're literally going through everything, and it'll be 90 minutes, but 30 minutes of that, it's 30 minutes longer because guys are asking questions. You got Iguodala, who's a Hall of Famer, asking questions. You got David West, who played a 15-year incredible career. He's asking questions. I mean, Zaza's asking questions. Klay Thompson's asking questions on how to guard the best player. KD's asking questions about, gamesmanship and time and score situations. So, like, just being around that is just like, man, like, I don't ask enough questions. And I'm a point guard, and I've won. I'm thinking, I ask, the most questions, but being around those guys, they ask a lot of questions. So hoopers don't be scared to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah.
Shout out to the league too. They got a good thing going, man. I'm gonna hoop with them guys one day. I'll see them in a few months.
You guys might not have LeBron or David West to ask questions to, but like at your gym, there's going to be that guy who's tough. So that's the practical application. Or on your team, your coach or someone on your teammate, something like that. Ask the people who are good, and people are more than I don't know the phrase, but oftentimes people are willing to give knowledge, and it's going to help you so much. It's going to help you more than just repping some shit out and failing on your own. Learning from someone else's mistakes, you learn so much faster than your own trial and error. I want to ask. Actually, hold on. What is your thoughts during the pick and roll? Like what are you reading? Like what are you reading in the pick and roll? I want to ask you that. That's a pretty general question, but I think you could answer that well.
Um, for me, I'm always reading the big. I'm never worried about the guy guarding me because I know I'm gonna do my job and get him off the screen, and I never want to get my big, in an illegal screen. So I've mastered the art of um, making sure my big is a good screen. So I'm never worried about my guy. Obviously, if I'm playing a guy like DeJounte Murray or George Hill, those long, lanky guards, Drew Holiday, guys who can cover, I might think about it a little bit, but I'm always reading the big and I'm always reading the tag. I want to see what scheme they're in if they want to pull over, and I'll have my pull up pass or I might have a pocket pass or a lob depending on my big. But I'm always reading it big, and 9 times out of 10, teams that I've been on, they always wanted me to be aggressive, to score off the pick and roll, because my jump shot ability in the mid range. So I'm really always reading it big. So teams like I love playing with San Antonio, who always play in the drop. Like they're never getting out of a drop. They're going drop, drop, drop. So the mid range game, was always wide open against them. So, but
Yeah.
if you play a team like Houston or well now the teams is it's a switching league now. So when they switch, it's different. But like pick and roll, your traditional pick and roll, I'm always reading the big, and I always want to find ways to get my guys shots because sometimes they don't pull over. I might get a big easy floater, layup, lob, whatever. I might get a shooter, a catch and shoot three just off they tag if they pull over. So I'm always reading the big.
And your goal is always to get the best shot possible, right?
Yeah, that's the if it's me shooting 5 straight mid ranges in a row, or if it's just getting off of it. Sometimes you don't gotta make the pass for the assist. You don't have to hit the big so he can get the layup, or you don't have to hit the pullover shot. Maybe if I'm coming off and they're stunting a little bit too much, and if it's a quick pass shot, we work on that every day. Pass shot, because some guys can mess their stunts up and can overstun or could be slow on their kick out. So just being effective off the pick and roll, not just to score, but just trying to make the right play.
Yeah. Okay. I get this question a lot, and I'm not a natural point guard, so I don't think I can answer it as well as you could. But it's how do you be shifty? Like what goes into being shifty? How can you develop that? Like having that wiggle.
Yeah. I kind of always naturally had it, but like I grew up in like the N1, like Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Steve Francis, Baron Davis era. So we was going outside trying to be like them, right? So obviously I'm telling my age, but that's how that's how all me and my friends became shifty, just because we were emulating them and we wanted to, cross over and make you fall and stuff like that. So I think from a drill standpoint, I think just working on it, I guess, I would do 100 cross, big right to left crossovers, left to right crossovers, really getting your jam and really like challenge yourself one-on-one. That's how I got like real shifty when I got to high school, like playing one-on-one. I was playing me and Victor Oladipo. We play one-on-one every day. Jaron Graham, we play one-on-one every day and, 3 dribbles. So you got to be shifty to get your shot off in 3 dribbles, and me being smaller than them, I gotta be extremely shifty because they're covering a lot of ground. So that's how I got shifty. I grew up in a shifty era and just playing one-on-one and just really working on it. And if you just watch like the guys in the league, the Kyries, the Dames, the Jordan Pooles, the Austin Reeves, those are the shiftiest guys in the league. So I just think if you watch them, you see their mannerisms, you see their body movements and stuff, and all you gotta do is just take it from them, and I think you'll start seeing some differences for sure.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
I do think Jordan Poole is the shift, like obviously after Kyrie and Steph. I think Jordan Poole is the shiftiest like guard right now. He's dumb shifty. He's so shifty.
You played him?
Yeah. Oh, SGA, yes sir. Yes sir. SGA is, he top 3. He might be he might be right behind Kyrie, like right behind. Like that's a close one too. Yeah.
What are
SGA.
like some things you like read though in order to like shift your guy? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not really reading my guy. I'm really reading myself. I'm not really just reading my guy. I'm reading myself and I'm reading, what's going around. Like sometimes I'm never really worried about my guy because I know what I can do and I know I can get a shot off. So it's not really like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like even the best defenders, like I was playing against Avery Bradley every day when I was with the Lakers, probably the best defender I ever played against. And like I know I can get my shot off. So I'm not like just really reading my guy. I'm reading like the schemes around me and how, the defense as a team is playing more than just me thinking about my guy, like how I'm getting my shot off against my guy for sure.
Yeah. What about defense? What tips do you have about defense?
I think defense is a mindset. You got to take pride on, shut down, the guy that you're matched up with, and also always having your teammates back. So I just think it's a mindset. Like I never was the best defender, until I got to Duke and I was supposed to come in and replace Kyrie and be, this next guy. But like I never figured out the defense part early. So I didn't play early my freshman year. And once I told myself, I need to play defense, I became an all defender in the
Yeah.
ACC. So
Yeah.
for me, I just think it's always been a mindset, just taking pride in, shutting your teammate, not your teammate, your opponent down.
Yeah. Mindset. I like that. A dog mindset, right?
Sure, for sure, for sure. Take pride in it. You got to take pride in that.
Yeah. Um, okay, I think this is a good one. He said, "Can you talk about again? People always come back to that confidence thing, but talk. Can you talk about the mental aspects of basketball? Because I struggle with trash talking and stuff." That was a question you got. Like, how do you deal with like the mind games people play with you and stuff like that? What's your thoughts?
Um, I just think you should get so nice, man. Like, they ain't talking trash to you because you killing them. It's like, nah, nah. But I would just say, man, just believe in yourself. I mean, because you putting the work in. If you putting the work in, if you're sacrificing, if you're doing something every day to become a better basketball player, even if it doesn't happen overnight, I promise you, like I've never seen hard work not work in no kind of way. So, um, people talking trash to you, just use it as motivation. Keep replaying their voices in your head anytime you don't want to get up early, anytime you don't want to do your 100 push-ups, anytime you don't want to do your 10 touches at the end of the workout. Always have that voice and always, remember the feeling how you feel when they talk trash to you. Like I remember when I didn't get drafted after I was a All-American, first team All-ACC. I just won national championship. Like I'm like, bro, I gotta get drafted. I go to the workouts, I'm killing. I went to the combine, I killed, and I didn't get drafted. And I remember like the people making fun of me, like Carolina fans or um, people like making fun of me because I didn't get drafted on Twitter. And I remember like that feeling that I had of embarrassment, like those next couple days. And like anytime, even still, man, that was 8, 9 years ago. Like
Yeah.
even still, like today, when we lost, I was pissed. I was like, man, I don't feel like running. Like I just have it in me now, but like it's that feeling like even when I got cut last year, like when I just had this wild feeling. Anytime I don't want to do something, I remember that feeling. I remember those couple voices. I remember, I think about Mike Brown, who I played 2 years with, and in Golden State, and him, cutting me last year. Like, what I'm saying? So I felt like he ain't do me right. I see his face, when I don't want to get up and stuff. So there's no disrespect to him or no disrespect to anybody, but you got to find ways to motivate yourself sometimes. So to whoever asked that question, people who talking trash to you, remember their voice, remember their face. And anytime you don't want to, work out or like even when you working out, see their face. We play it every time until it makes you sick. So when next time when that person sees you, they're gonna have a different, talking. It's not gonna be trash talking. It's gonna be them building you up or showing you love.
That's real, bro. You can really use that hate. You can really use that hate, bro. Just don't let it. Don't be a victim of it though. It's easy to believe it. It's easy to let that shit get to you. But if you use it, that's what Kobe said too. I remember he was talking about T Mac, like how T Mac was when T Mac was in his prime and he was killing him, that shit motivated him like crazy because he wasn't the best. I mean, that wasn't hate, but it was like, damn, this guy thinks he's better than me. This guy thinks he's better than me. Same shit. But that shit's like probably the best motivator there is. That competitiveness, that competition. Yeah, yeah. What's the difference between college and the league?
Um, like the basketball,
Yeah, basketball.
it's the college is more slower, it's more structured, it's more compact, it's more people in the paint. Um, yeah, I think people care more in the in college. I mean, I remember if we lost in college and we knew our practice was going to be
Yeah,
crazy the next couple of days, so we definitely didn't want to lose. I think in the NBA, people are just too good to where like you're not going to win every game. There's only been a couple teams, the Warriors, the Bulls, like they lost 9 games, the Bulls lost 12, but like that's not. I mean, people are going to lose 18 to
yeah,
30, 50 games a year. So I wouldn't say people care more in college, but I just definitely think, the games mean a little bit more until the playoffs.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I just like the NBA game more. It's more space. it's more just space where you can be creative, space where you can score, space where the best players in the world, which the NBA has, can just showcase their talent more. But colleges, there's nothing like that college atmosphere, that college routine, that college game. Just it was so fun to be a part of for 4 years. But
Yeah.
it's not like the league. It's not like the league. Nothing
Yeah.
like it. Nothing
Yeah.
like it.
Is there less pressure in the league, you think? Because it sounds like people aren't as like into the game. It sounds like I've heard like the league is more like pickup than it is like actual game plan.
I think it's less pressure. I think there's less pressure than college. I mean, because everybody in the NBA is making great, great, great money. I think, well, now NIL is a little different, but, when we were in college, we were starving, we were hungry. I'm not saying that the people are now, but, we weren't making any money. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
no,
saying? So it was a different hunger. Guys didn't know if they were going to make it to the league, or the guys didn't know if they were going to play professional, wherever. So it was kind of like, um, for 75% of college, or maybe even more, I'm interested to see those numbers. 80% of college, this could be their last serious high level basketball. So I think people would just take it a little bit more serious for sure.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm getting a lot of questions about advice for dunking, advice for athleticism. What have you seen like that has transformed you into like an actual athletic player who can like get around on defense and is quick and fast and stuff like that? Did you always have that, or did you like learn specific workouts or things that made you more athletic?
Yeah. Victor Oladipo, we went to elementary, middle, and high school together, and he was always a really good athlete. But he's a year older than me, so after his freshman year, my eighth grade year, he broke his foot, and like I said, he couldn't dunk. He couldn't dunk in ninth grade,
Yeah.
but he broke his foot, and he started doing rehab. And then when he was coming back, he would do these workouts every day. And literally, like I never saw him dunk. And then our first game of that next year, my freshman year, sophomore year, he got a dunk like the first half of the game, like it was crazy. Gilbert Arenas, he used to throw this big classic, and like my team was the best team in the area, and we'll play like the DC public school best team at their school. It was crazy. Like the whole city came out, and Vic got a steal. He went off two and like did a crazy one hand dunk, and we like, when he get that? So like obviously it was the talk, of the night. We ended up winning and stuff. So we like, Vic, when you get that? He like, bro, I've been doing these workouts, and he just became like this, like crazy, crazy dunker.
Yeah.
So I just literally would do what he would do, literally, and I saw myself become a better athlete. I wasn't, like I said, I've never been this crazy athlete, but I've been able to sustain, because I got a routine now that I do. That it's just maintained me to keep some great speed. I think the best thing for me is just always being in shape. Like I'm never not in shape.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped me a lot, and I'm always trying to find ways to improve my game. But I think now, like being in year 9, at 30, just I'm trying to just maintain my strength. Try to keep my quick twitch muscles activated, and yeah, man, I know I'm never going to be a over the rim player, but I want to be still effective at 34, 35, quick as I am right now.
What workouts did Victor Oladipo have you doing in high school? Like when you say
Jump
you got that
rope, jump rope. He would run a lot. He was running miles.
simple stuff, huh?
Yeah, just simple, like real simple. Some calisthenics, some band work,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So shout out Cam Wilder too, is my guy. Um,
I think a lot of people like think they need like the perfect workout to get athleticism to jump higher, but all that really matters is that you're doing the thing. I hear people all the time, like I heard Michael Jordan, you should just ride his bike a lot and try to dunk. Like it doesn't really matter as much as that you're doing something consistently. That's what matters the most.
whatever.
Yeah.
You can go chase somebody. You can do something as long as you're doing something active. Like it's really no certain thing. There's no certain thing that's going to do it. I just think if you keep being active, I think it'll pay off as well.
So, um, ooh. What do coaches look for? That's a good one. That's a good, like for high school and college, because I think that's the majority of the audience is like high school and college players, or maybe middle school even. Like what would make someone stand out? Like what's like the concepts that you think, okay, here's what I got to do to like make the team if I'm like on the edge or something. What's going to give the person that edge?
Like I said, I don't want to sound cliche, but I think it's defense. Like I've never seen somebody who shut down another guy, get cut from a team, or not play. I think all the other stuff is pluses if you can score, if you can do whatever. But I've always been somebody who, if somebody plays defense and rebounds, they'll always find time on the team. And like I said, when I was at Duke, I was, a top 10 player coming in. I was at McDonald's All American. I was this and that, but I didn't get on the court because I couldn't defend. I couldn't defend. And once I started to defend, my next 3 years, I never came off the court. Like in high school, I was a good scorer. Always been a good scorer, but my team, DeMatha, like Coach Jones, he's a coach at Maryland now. He needed us to play defense. I was probably one of the top 2 scorers, in our area my sophomore and junior year. But I was coming out the game if I got blown by. I was coming out the game if I blew, defensive assignments. So I've always had coaches who held me accountable for defense. So that's why I always preach to my little brothers now, to my little sisters now, to anybody who I try to work with. I'll tell them take pride on defense at a young age, because I wish I would took pride on defense a little younger. No telling where, I'd be right now, or what other accomplishments I could have did. I kind of started to take it serious, late high school and college. But, I think defense is always, the key to get you on the court.
Can you talk about like I know some, okay, I've been at high school practices before and stuff, and one big thing that people don't do is like talk. Can you talk about like how important that is and how to talk and like how important it is, especially at the high levels? And then also another thing is, how do you hand check without fouling? Because this is like it's almost like an art that not a lot of people talk about, is like how do you use your hands on defense without actually like pushing off them? Because I know that's what the best defenders do. They use their hands. They make the guy uncomfortable, but they do it without, to make sure like someone doesn't sweep through, draw a foul or something like that. How do you do that?
Andre Iguodala was the best guy that I saw with his hands. And he would always say he was used, because obviously in the NBA now you can't hand check like when Jordan and all those guys, Gary Payton, they literally would have their hand on the offensive player's hip and guide them wherever. And the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, obviously they took it out the league. But, playing with a guy like Andre Iguodala, like he would use his hands before the guy got the ball, or like the action started, or as soon as the guy would catch, if he's guarding Kawhi Leonard on the elbow, he'll literally have his hand like on his hip, and as soon as Kawhi like catches it, he'll take it off and jab, reset, he'll have it on and take it off. That's the best guy I ever saw do that, like with their hands. And he guarded everybody, man. Like he was guarding Harden. We played New Orleans one year. Draymond, would start on AD, and then when Draymond would come out, Andre would go to him for a second, and then they'll put KD on him, and then so when KD would go to AD, Andre would go to like Drew Holiday. Like he guarded literally everybody. But he was really, 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 really good at that. And it's all about gamesmanship. It's all about gamesmanship. Obviously, you can't do it when the action's in play, but I think like for me, like a lot of people, naturally when you're guarding somebody, say I'm guarding you and you're bringing the ball up or you're attacking, whatever. Once you pass the ball, hey, my job is done. Let me chill for a second, or let me get to my help defensive assignment. But like I would see Andre, and Clay was really good too. Like he would still like they would still like be like not hand checking him, but like touching them just the whole game. And like as always a player, like you don't want like somebody touching you like the whole game, especially like when you don't even got the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Making it comfortable.
yeah, it's just like you're thinking about the player the entire time. Now, on the flip side, the best offensive players don't care. They don't care if you're touching them the entire time. They don't care. They know, They're used to being guarded with all kinds of schemes, all kind of looks. So, man, it's a cat and mouse game, man. And Andre was one of the best that I ever saw, for sure.
Wow. That's crazy. So touch them and push them and prod them and pinch them as much as possible without actually getting a foul.
Yeah, like you'll never see them like obviously when they're working when say it's Kawhi and he's actually working or Paul George when he's getting to his spot and stuff. You'll never see their hands on. Paul George is another one who does a really good job defensively with that. But like you'll never see him guiding like how he used to. But like once he has it, you'll see a quick touch, like working, dribble. Not never while dribbling, but while like the ball is like triple threat or uh, Kawhi and Paul, they like to have it up here and stuff. Like quick touch. Um, Once they give it up, you'll see Andre touch them again, just annoying them. Somebody could be working, still touching them, just touching them. Like we used to do that to James a lot in the playoffs, just keep touching them. So yeah, it's just the gamesmanship that goes on in hoops that it's more mental than anything.
Yeah, and I think so. I think the reason that works is because when people work out, right, they're like practicing for games or whatever, they're not working with a defender on them for the most part. I know in the NBA, you guys probably get guys touching you and all that. But I think as a younger guy, a great thing that would help a lot of practical step is to work out, get shots up with someone hand checking the shit out of you, fouling you, all this. So then when you get in the game and people are actually trying to make you uncomfortable, you're not going to be uncomfortable. You've done it a million times. The reason that works is because when you're training and you're getting shots up and you're just, there's no one on you, you can visualize it, but you can't visualize someone pushing you in your chest, grabbing onto your shirt, any of that. So when you get shots up, when you work out, when you train, try to get, if you're with a buddy, have him push you, prod you, make you uncomfortable. So when that happens in a game, like Quinn said, the best guys are the guys who are comfortable being touched, being pushed around, uncomfortable. Yeah. So the other thing I asked was like talk about talking on defense, being vocal, and how important that is. Like, and how do you do it? How do you be vocal? And
Yeah, no, great. That's a great. If you ask anybody who comes to my camp, if you ask any high school player, AAU player that I've been in the gym with, it could be 10 times, it could be one time, it could be 10 minutes. Literally, the first thing I always preach, and um, I take a lot of pride in this because it literally changed my entire outlook on basketball different and it changed my game. Was talking. Like I said, when I was at Duke, I came in as highly touted guy, just like anybody who goes to Duke. But just with my high school resume, obviously, I came in after Kyrie. I was supposed to be whatever, starting from day one, whatever. But like I didn't play defense and I didn't talk. And as a point guard, you're supposed to talk. But I only talked like when stuff was going good. Like you can't be a leader like, you know what I'm saying? When you up 12, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, whatever. Man, when you losing or when you struggling, you're not talking. Your body language isn't good. You think about yourself. So I learned that at Duke. I learned that from coach. And from there I've always been, a guy who's always communicating, who's always, talking on the court. As a point guard, you gotta be a coach on the floor, right? You'll never rarely see a coach quiet on the sideline. So why would your point guard be silent if he's the coach on the floor, right? So literally, I preach that all the time, and we're not taught that. We're not taught that. Some coaches may teach them at a young age, but we're not taught to talk on defense, all the time and talk effectively, on offense all the time. Just talking like, just imagine you being a guy who's a scorer or being an offensive player who has the ball and you're facing five guys who's talking and communicating and everybody's on point at the right. That's scary to go against. You're in for a long night when you see that. So teams that I've been on has been the most talkative teams, have been the most communicating teams. And I literally preach that to, every kid that I come across in the gym because that does so much. And not just does stuff for your teammates, it does stuff for you because when you talking, when you leading, while you're holding your other teammates accountable, that means you got to be accountable as well. So I just think it takes everybody to another level. So I think being, a great, like a team who communicates together and loud, those are scary teams to play against.
how do you get your guys on your team? Like, say you have guys on your team who are maybe selfish or like, because I know that you probably dealt with that, guys on your team who, whatever, they don't want to talk, like silent killers or whatever. How do you get those guys to talk, especially as a point guard being a leader?
See, for me, a gift that I always I've had, was being a people person. I've never been on a team where I didn't have relationships with all my guys off the court. So some guys, like, you might gotta yell at them to get them going. You might gotta get in their face and scream at them, say if they're not playing well, not playing hard. You might gotta turn them up like that. But some guys, you might gotta take them to the side, like, man, look, like.
Yeah,
It's just different approaches, and that's you being a good teammate and learning your teammates and learning how they react to certain stuff. And I think those make the best coaches. Um, so I just think there's ways that you gotta quirk your teammates and get with them and get them going. So I think that's on you. I think that's on the player to really know their teammates, know your personnel.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
It's live popping, it's chat popping, man.
I know. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm glad. And again, thank you, Quinn, bro. This is helping. This helped me a lot. I know it's helping a lot of people. So you're making an impact for real, and it means a lot to me. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Help me. Help
Yeah.
me.
Okay, this is a good question. How do you be? So I think the hardest position to be in basketball is to be undersized guard. Like, what tips would you give somebody to be an elite undersized guard or to be, you know what I mean, a great player when you're not, average size. You're small. What are like the things you got to know that'll make you great as an undersized guard?
I think you got to be the most in shape. I think when you get in the game or if you start whatever, you just gotta bring something like unique to the table. You gotta have a specialty. Like if you look at Isaiah Thomas, um, he's one of the best scorers I ever seen in my life. I'm talking about Boston Celtics lefty Isaiah Thomas, not the bad boys Isaiah Thomas. He's one of the best scorers. Like, he had a scoring specialty. Um, like Fred Van Vliet, when he's, obviously he's an all-star now, but, when he was in Toronto, and when he came off the bench, he changed the game. If it was defensively, if it was the pace that he brought, when he got the ball. He just he gave you a different look than Kyle Lowry gave you,
Yeah,
obviously who started. I think you just gotta have a specialty. You gotta be special at something. And I don't know. I mean, you just gotta be good. Like, there's so many good players who never touched the league. Like, guys who I idolized in college who even never touched the league, but they're just so good. I mean, it's tough to get to the NBA. It's tough to play high Division One. It's tough to get a scholarship. So, you got to be good, man. You got to be good. You got to be different. But I think all the not the young guys, but the smaller guys just had something. Like DJ Augustine's a guy who I always looked at, like, growing up. He was just so, like, pure. Like, he just did everything, like, effortlessly, and he rarely made mistakes, and he could score. And he got his guys his shots. That's why he had such a long, great career. So um, those are guys who I look at. It's like just smaller guys who find ways to be effective.
yeah. How do you develop your specialty? Because I think a lot of people want to have like an all around game, but I know there's like most great guys in the league have their thing. Like, what's when you find your thing? Like, how do you go about not having weaknesses in your game, but also like having your thing? If that makes sense.
I think you develop it. I just think you develop it. Different places you go, different teams you play on, different coaches you play for. Cream always rises to the crop. I think um, You know, somebody just said it in the comments. I just think with the experience, you'll figure it out. If it's, defending, if it's catching and shooting, if it's blocking, if it's rebounding, if it's um, just being the glue guy, anything, carrying the team. I just think with the experience and, everywhere you go, when you kind of find yourself doing that one thing or, when all fails, you get into that one thing. I think that might be a specialty. So.
Yeah. How did you get recruited? What was your process like in high school? Like, how did you get recruited, and what would you recommend for people, both who have like good opportunities, as in like AAU programs, and people who are maybe in the middle of nowhere?
No, that's a great question. Like I said, man, I was very fortunate coming from where I came from. It was just a basketball hotbed. So, um, I got my first offer from Georgetown University in the eighth grade because I played, varsity for my high school summer league team. And, I had a good summer. So I got my first couple offers, but my first offer was Georgetown, obviously in my backyard. So um, I was fortunate. I was blessed to obviously go to a big high school. And, it's the reason why I went to the high school is because just we had the best players in the area, all, not obviously there were good players, but you had the like a lot of guys who was paid maybe seventh, eighth, ninth man on our team could go to any public school and be the one or two guy, or go to certain private schools be the one, two, third guy. But they made a sacrifice come to math that they might have been the seventh or eighth guy. So my dad, he was just like, man, you had an opportunity to play in front of all these coaches coming to see these older guys. I mean, why not go there? And we wanted the challenge. I mean, there were so many guards at the Mather when I was eighth grade, but I wanted to go against those guys. I embrace competition always. So I ended up going to DeMatha, and I ended up playing varsity. And I had a good high school career, I had a good freshman career, and I kind of blew up my freshman year. So I was getting offers from everywhere. So then obviously playing for DC Assault, national powerhouse, and AAU. I always played on a high level stage in AAU. So and that's when the rankings came, and I got to play Team USA. We were the youngest and first Team USA team to win a gold medal. A lot of pros on that team. So no, I was lucky, blessed, fortunate to have those things come my way, but I was always ready for it. So obviously with the blessing, I was always ready. So I was just definitely appreciative for opportunities that I was blessed with for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what would you say? Because I know you were kind of a bucket since birth, but like if someone's like, you know, maybe they're not the number one option on their team in high school, like how would you go about like, okay, I want to play in the league. Like I'm not like, or I'm not noticed, or I'm not at this top school, or I don't have this top AIU program. What would you say for someone like that? I know that wasn't your experience, but like, how would you go to get recruited, to get offers at that stage?
I ain't gonna lie, like like I said, Victor Oladipo was never the go-to guy on our team. His sophomore year and junior year, he came off the bench. He was the number two pick in the draft. Jeremy Grant, came off the bench. Um, Came off the bench his first 2 years, and he didn't become the man till his senior year. I think he just signed for 180, 190 million, whatever he just signed for. Um, those are guys who, weren't the go-to guys and stuff like that, but they worked hard and they always, contributed to our team positively. And they just worked. And once they got the opportunity, they took off. So like even Jeremy, I think it's his 10th year in the league, maybe. I think it's his 10th year in the league. And um, every year he just got better and better and better and better and better and better. So like to answer that question is like the role that you got right now in high school, that might not be your role when you get to college, or that might not be your role when you get professionally. But
Yeah,
I bring those two up because even though they probably thought that they deserved a bigger role, they always sacrificed for the team.
yeah,
They work, and now look at the blessing they got. Jaren Grant, who played for the Knicks, played for the Wizards, who just got Euro Cup MVP. He was like our point forward. He probably averaged like 13, 14 points, but with 8 assists, 7 assists. I was the scorer on the team, so I averaged 20. But like when I got to college, I was the point guard. And when Jaren at his school, he was the scorer. So like obviously just whatever team you're on, you just gotta appreciate that role and go on your role, but don't get stuck in that role. Don't think that I'm a rebounder on this team or I'm just a defender on this team. I don't gotta work on my shot for when you get to college, you might be a scorer, you might be a shooter. So, you know what I'm saying? You're always trying to, find ways to get better.
Yeah. 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 That's really good because I think a lot of people give up after like if they're not like whatever recruited out of high school or they play JUCO and they're not recruited. But I know plenty of people who didn't play high school and then now they're playing overseas or whatever. Like there's a ton of different journeys. I feel like if you just work like it's cliche like you said, but if you just work hard for a long period of time, you're guaranteed to go up because most people get comfortable once they get that success and then that allows you to rise. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much more time you got? How much? What are you feeling?
I'm chilling.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's see. Oh, can you talk about? Okay. Okay. I've asked a couple people about this, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it. But on offense, how do you utilize your off arm, and how important is that? And like, how do you develop a good off arm when handling the ball? And I know that's so important as a point guard, but like, what are your thoughts on it? How do you do it without getting fouls called, and how much should you use it? Because I always see the best handlers like use it every single time they drive.
Yeah, I just have it. You hear me?
Now your mic's a little weird.
Somebody, my phone been ringing.
Oh shoot. Hey, we're about to get him back on. Hold up. Hold up. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, bro. He's probably about to, I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait for him to get on again, and then we'll just wait a second. That was good, Braden. All right, he's probably gonna go live again. Let's see. I'm about to text him real quick. Hold on. I think he's about to go live again. Just wait. He's about to go live again. Here we go. He's about to join. Good.
I was getting called.
You good. You good. You good. You good. But what were you? Oh,
Um,
off arm on offense. How you use it correctly, and like, what are your thoughts on it?
yeah, my trainer, Hanif, um, he was probably one of the best trainers ever. Not probably, he is one of the best trainers ever, if not the best. Um, he like we grew up like 100 pounds, but like they didn't count if our arm wasn't up, and vice versa, and he's always hitting at us. So like if we doing pound between 100 pound between, if we get on 70 and he goes for the ball and he gets the ball, like we got to start over. So we being taught, you know what I'm saying, like always be able to use your off arm as a guard, as a shield. I remember playing against Taiwan Lawson every day, and I was in high school, and he kept using that. Like anytime he'd get by me or give me his hip, he'd hit me with one of those. Like I'm like, bro, damn, like why you keep doing it, but like I need that. Like I can't stop it. Like me, I got up from Chris Paul. Like just you know what I'm saying. So like just always trying to and me like being smaller. Like I'm going in these like small, cracks and crevices and going against these big guys and these wings with long arms. I always got to get low and be able like just to hit people off. And when I create space on my step back or when I create space on my west side or just getting away, probing, I'm always kind of using my arm. Not, obviously fully extending, pushing off, but having some gamesmanship and just, making the defender work a little bit and being physical with the defender. Because a lot of times defenders want to get physical with you, but, when you're physical with a defender, and for me, I just think using that off arms is very effective. So that's a great question.
Yeah. And when you talk about gamesmanship, I've heard you mention that a couple times. What do you mean by that?
Like this game shit, like I said, like if you guarding a good player and he gets the ball up, still like hitting them, still like It's a game within a game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Mentally. So
I got
um,
you.
anything like just all like the petty stuff that you might see. Anything like just to get on somebody's nerves when they call like a offensive foul on a guy, and then I come over there and take the ball in here and go. That's just having gamesmanship. Just a game within a game.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay. Toby said, "What goes through your mind on offensive possessions?" And I know that's pretty vague, but maybe you could break down like the main things that are in your mind every possession.
That's a great question. For me, just getting the best shot possible. Um,
Yep.
and then sometimes, like in time and score situations, like if we're up, you know, a lot of teams kind of just dribble. Say we're up 5 with a minute left or however it is. It's like, you know, the team that's up 5 wants to like might give it to one person and let him just dribble out the clock. And then a lot of times they'll just take like a tough contested shot or whatever. And you always hear Jeff Van Gundy. I hate that. Like that's not a good possession or whatever. Um, so like I was always taught like when I played for Team USA, like when it's time and score, whatever. Let's still work. We're gonna work the clock, but let's still work the ball around and stuff like that. So I'm saying to say my mindset every possession is just let's get a good shot. Obviously, you know, playing the league, we gonna have the best players in the world. So what might be a contested shot for KD or it might be a contested shot for Steph, it's still a good shot. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for us, that's the shots that we want to take. And those guys getting paid $300 million to take those shots. But, you know, for me, like I'm always just thinking, let's just get the best shot possible. So that's my thought. And if it's going to KD right here on the block or at the elbow and him taking a one-legged contested elbow shot, you know, I love that shot. If we can get that shot 10 straight times, we want that shot.
Yeah.
So that's my mindset on offense. That's just getting the best shot possible.
Yeah. And I think that ties in with confidence a lot because a lot of times I see people who aren't very good or starting the game and like, why am I not confident? It's because you're playing with people that are better than you, and the best shot is for you not to get a shot, seriously. And you want to score, obviously. You want to shoot. But if you shoot, you know in the back of your head, I'm being selfish right now. This isn't a good shot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the way to get confidence sometimes is just to get better, bro. You're just not good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotta get better.
Yeah. And don't play with people who are just better than you. Make sure you play with people on your same level so you can get reps in, like doing your thing. Because if you're playing with people better than you, you're gonna feel like, I'm not. This is not a good shot. You in your mind, you know you got to get the best shot. But when you shoot, you're like, I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I'm selfish. Having that I'm being selfish. I need to score.
Yeah,
Make breeds anxiety.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. I heard there's 2 questions: shot creation tips, space creation tips. How do you create a shot? What's going through your mind? How do you like when you're like, all right, I'm about to break this guy down, get a shot, break him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
It's not really nothing going through my mind. I'm really just reading and reacting and just,
Yeah.
you know, that's like I said, um, I'm always looking at the other defenders. I'm looking at the schemes. I'm thinking schemes. So I'm already prepared. Like I said, I'm not really worried about my defender. So, like I'm reading and reacting. I'm just reading, reacting. I'm just working off my instincts. So I'm not just. There's only been one time in the NBA where I could be as aggressive as possible. That was when I was with the Warriors. But other than that, like I've always had to kind of, you know, play through the offense, pick and roll, catch and shoot guy. But you know, when I was in my bag with the Warriors, I mean, I could really do whatever. But
Yeah.
it just came from like really just reading and reacting.
Was
And
it more like getting to space, or what was going through your mind? Like, were you just like, okay, there's a lane here, there's a lane here. I'm gonna get to the open spot. I'm figuring out a way, or is it just like you're just playing?
I'm just
You don't just
playing.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get the best shot. And a lot of times when I was with Golden State, you know, our second lineup would be me, Sean Livingston, Clay, D West, and it could be Jordan Bell. It could be whatever. So after Clay, like, you know, Steve always wanted me to be aggressive. I was the next best scorer on that at that time. Obviously, those guys had better careers than me, but just later at that time, those guys are older and they were trying to preserve. So I remember like Sean Livingston. like every other possession, like he wanted me to be aggressive. He wanted me to have the ball, just to keep the defense honest. So I think for me, it's just reading and reacting, and it's not just me kind of being passive or me like just thinking scoring. It's just me being aggressive to make the right play. And if it was times where I had to shoot 3 times in a row, or if it was I had to just get off of it real quick, or find clay, or anything, I just think that that kind of helped me when I was there, just being aggressive.
Yeah. Um, what about? I got a question, and I know you're a read and react player. Like you don't really think about like how you do it, but someone said, how do you get past players more? Like, what practical advice could you give if you have like a wide open lane to the side, but you know this guy's about to try to cut you off? Like, what what would you tell them to do to get past this guy?
I mean, I, I mean, just before that, I would just start telling them just to play one on one.
Yeah,
I would just start playing one on one or playing 2-on-2, to where you just get that experience and used to reading the next defender or reading your defender and stuff like that. A lot of times drills don't you know give you that, because obviously you're working on the drill, you're working on your skill, but like that doesn't give you like real game time live situations, reading and reacting.
yeah,
um that's why I'm big and not just doing drills, not just always get your shots up, always you know improve your ball handling, get to your shots and stuff. But I always tell people to play, because you're not going to get that full game experience and that experience from reading and reacting and stuff like that if you're not playing one on ones and 2-on-2s. And that's how you learn to create space. That's how you really work on you did between cross 15 times and you never did it in the game because you're not used to doing in the game. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So literally, I get you tighten up your handle and you're getting your shots, but play one on one to where like what I do is like maybe like today, like this morning, I worked on my behind the back series. So when I played 5-on-5 today, like a lot of my times where I knew I was going, or my pick and roll situations, I couldn't shoot it unless it was off the behind the back. I mean, why I'm doing that? Because I've worked on it this morning, so I got to put it in the game now. So obviously, when I get in those situations this season or whenever I play next, I can get out something out of it. So I just think that if to answer the question, if you're playing one on ones, you're playing 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s, you can really see like, all right, this works or this works, or let me read. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that all the drills that you're doing, if you try to implement into one on ones, 2-on-2s, pickups, I think you'll see it.
and also don't play soft one on ones. Don't be like 50%. Play 100%. Hand checking, fouling. That's gonna be the best thing. The bigger the fire you put yourself through, the more you're able to handle the smaller fires. So make it as hard as possible when you're playing those one on ones, 2-on-2s. Um, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I gotta go to the bathroom. So then you just answer, and I'm gonna just do my thing. Um, okay, I get this question all the time. So handling the ball, how do you get better handles? How do you get it on a string? And then a weak hand, what would you say? Because a lot of people are like, oh, how do I get my weekend? How do I get my weekend better? Those are two questions I think would be great for you to answer. And then I'll be right back. Hold on.
I think that you just gotta like just keep the ball with you, like just hoop, like just really just do some of the basketball every day, and it's going to become naturally. I'm gonna read some of y'all comments. I'm helping girls, coach. What's one piece of advice y'all would give, Coach Good? And just keep them in the gym, let them have fun. Just cliche. Um, I don't know. Challenge them every day. Who's the best workout partner in the NBA? Kyle Kuzma. He in the gym a lot. Is there is there a maximum number of dribbles someone can take? Yeah, man. When we played against the Rockets in the playoffs, like James Harden was taking like 400 dribbles a game, still killing. Chris Paul was taking like 350, still killing. So, um, yeah, it's no maximum or no minimum. As long as you're effective, you good.
Okay, how about like I'm gonna give you like two more questions and I think we call it. How's that sound?
That's cool.
Okay. So I'll ask you this. Someone didn't actually answer this, but this is a really good question for people to know. What's the difference between the stars, the people who can do everything, and then the people at the bottom? Because I know it's not how hard they work. Like, what is it? What do you think the difference is between like the top of the top and the middle guys?
Honestly, they just different. They just different. Yeah, they just different, bro. They all work. Um, everybody works like the middle guys, stars. Like I haven't been around a star that doesn't work though. Like that doesn't like
Yeah.
have a crazy work ethic. So I'm not saying that to like discredit them. You know what I'm saying? But like they're just different. Like I can't really explain it. Like they're just different. Like the guys who are the stars in the league and who've been killing for, you know, numerous years. They're just different, bro. They just different, and they just got a different makeup, bro. They just different, bro. So
Okay. Okay. I want to do a good question for the last one. That's crazy though, bro. Like, that's crazy. Um. Okay. All right. I have some questions. I want to do a good one for the last one that can really help some of you guys out. Hmm. Bro, I don't see a lot of good. Okay, this is a good one actually. Okay, how do you guard like an athletic freak, some guy who's just crazy athletic, who can quick first step, hella tall, all that, like Giannis, Pascal Siakam, KD, those guys. Like, I think you. Oh no, you good. You good. What do you say?
you hear me?
Nah, it's like kind of bad.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, bro. You can't. There's no guarding them. You just gotta follow the game plan. You gotta follow the scheme. Hopefully, your coach, yeah, coaching staff came up with a great game plan. And you just gotta hope they miss. Sometimes you might get lucky. Every 10, 15 games, they might have a bad shooting night or might have a bad offensive game. But I just think that force the guys that you named, that they bring is just no stopping them. And you just got to make them work as much as possible, and just really hope they miss or hope they get in foul trouble or something because there's literally no stopping them.
For
Literally.
sure, bro. Yeah. Okay. I think we'll call it at that, bro. Like, okay, well, I just want to say, bro, this means so much to me. Like, you're helping me like advance
All
what
right,
I'm
bro.
trying to do, and it means a lot, brother. Like, seriously, like seriously, like,
Thank you.
I know it wasn't a big task for you, but it helped me a ton, and I know you just helped a ton of people so much. I'm gonna record this and post it for anyone who just joined, so you guys can learn. We got a ton of good knowledge in here. Say thank you to Quinn, bro. Like,
Appreciate
man,
all this fun, man. Let me know whenever you want to do it, bro. This was lit. This was lit. This was lit.
I appreciate you, bro. Seriously.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I'm gonna throw it on in my I don't know. I'll throw it on somewhere. I'll let you guys know where it is. But thank you guys for showing up, learning. Quinn, I'll see you later, bro.